Hello, thank you for joining me today. This is really the first one of a series of videos I'm going to be doing on my journey, restoring my own clear sight, clear vision. Well, I'm not there yet. And of course, I'm talking to those of you that have been diagnosed with either macular degeneration or retinal pigment detachment, PEDS. And I'm not a doctor. This isn't about what you should or shouldn't do. This is about my journey, how so far, I have cured one side of my eye of PEDS. Now, macular degeneration is scary enough. Okay, you get that diagnosis. Oh, yeah, it's devastating. It really is. But so far, I have been able to cure one side of my one eye of an incurable disease, and my macula is stabilized. In fact, actually, the ophthalmologist said it had improved in one eye last week. So let's go back to about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. So as I mentioned in the first video, the explanation of what this was going to be about, it was soon after my husband was taken into ICU with a massive stroke. And to see him as he was absolutely terrifying. But it was soon after that that I got diagnosed with macular degeneration. So I'm 60 at that age. And I thought immediately, because I always tie the emotions and the physical together, and the spiritual, of course. I thought, oh my gosh, as if it isn't bad enough that I have to see him like that, now I'm going to lose my own eyesight. And I called up my daughter and I cried on the phone, and then as I began to get used to knowing that but not focusing on it, it was like, well, of course I don't want to see what's going on. Of course I just don't want to see what's going on. I really don't. But yet I do, because I want to keep my eyesight. So I had already made a correlation between what I didn't want to see and the fact that my eyes were now degenerating in a way, the eyesight. So let's fast forward. Fast forward about 18 years, about 18 and a half years, and suddenly my eyesight is a whole lot worse. So I went to the ophthalmologist and he said, you need to go to a retina specialist. So I went to the retina specialist, and actually I went to 7, just to make sure, but they all gave me the same diagnosis. Yes, you have PEDS, but they delivered it in a nice way. Some did, some sort of were more matter of fact, and there was one retinal specialist who delivered it, you're going to lose your eyesight and be blind within 2 years. I couldn't believe he just said that to me. And I just looked him in the eye and I said, no, I'm not. That's not my journey. I felt it from deep inside my soul. So needless to say, that was about the worst way anyone could hear that kind of prognosis. So I went on my own journey. I looked up, Googled, found all the research I could on who could help macular degeneration, or PEDS at that point. Macular is slow deterioration, and I'd had it for nearly 18 years, over 18 years. And PEDS is lights out. You're going to lose your vision. No known cure is what it kept saying. No known cure. Erase, erase, erase. I did not accept that, because I do know over the years of being diagnosed that I was meant to die twice. I was meant to be in a wheelchair, and then I was meant to be blind. And here I am in my 80s, still driving, playing golf, and living a good life. So I rejected anything that wasn't uplifting and positive. It's just not my truth. I'm going to do it my way. So the first person I came across that I liked the look of was an acupuncturist, but he was in San Diego, which is like 2.5 hours drive away from me. And I was meant to go, I talked to him on the phone, and it was called Makari Wellness, M-A-K-A-R-I, Wellness in San Diego. I will put that underneath for you to look up yourself if you choose. And I went to this incredibly wonderful, positive, gentle, knowledgeable acupuncturist who really seemed to know so much about the interconnection of the organs with the eyes, and was open to me telling him what I was doing. And I will get into what I was also doing, because I've done that my whole life as an EFT tapping practitioner and theta healer and neuro-linguistic programmer and a hypnotherapist. So, you know, I've got a lot of different modalities that I tie together. So Michael Makari said I needed to come in twice a week, which was really, really hard to do, because as I said, it was like a 4-hour, sometimes 5-hour drive there and back. And doing it twice a week was not very easy, to say the least. And first of all, he did a lot of explaining, which is wonderful, because you understand what's really going on with the eyes and why they're not receiving the nutrition, the energy, the blood supply, the oxygen, everything they need. And then he put electrodes, little acupuncture needles, all around my eyes, under my eyes. And they're hooked up to, electrically hooked up to whatever they hook up to. And so the acupuncture was sending little sparks of energy. Excuse me for not knowing what I'm talking about. I was on the receiving end, and I'm not an acupuncturist. All I can tell you is that was, along with supplements, because it's really important to get the right supplement. And this acupuncturist supplied all that for me. This energy began to make sense to me. You were stimulating. So where before, when I was told I had detachment and, you know, I was going blind, it was like, oh my God, don't touch my eyes. This is so scary. And then I thought, no, tap around the eyes. Use electrodes around the eyes. Let's stimulate the blood. Let's stimulate the energy. Let's stimulate healing, vitality. So the electrodes, the acupuncture that I was getting made perfect sense to me on every level. And so I went down to the acupuncturist, Makari Wellness. I went down there twice a week for maybe 6 months. At that point, actually, I couldn't do all the driving. It was just too hard on my eyes, and I love driving, but you know, one eye has wavy lines instead of straight lines, and the other one's blurry. So, sounds like I shouldn't be on the road, right? But anyway, it was just that long journey with lines wasn't easy, so I found a wonderful person who drove me down. And I continued with that therapy, and I'm not sure how long. I want to say 6 months, 8 months maybe, that I was doing that. And then it was just too much for me, and I thought, I'm just going to see if I can find an acupuncturist here who would do the electrodes. And I did. I managed to find a local person who didn't know anything about it but was open to try it. And so I continued. I had about 2 months there, going twice a week, I think. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to do this on my own. So I bought, oh gosh, I didn't bring it in front of the camera. Anyway, they're online. They're just acupuncture pens. They're like long, thin things with a metal point on the end. And you just hold it on, and when you're on the right energy meridians point, it will make a little noise. And so I just started using that around my eyes. So that is the first part of how I started to progress. All along, I know over years of experience of reversing the irreversible, and now working with reversing my eye issue, that communicating with the cells of my body, tapping on the meridians of my body, but most of all, neutralizing the subconscious program that we all have that triggered this degeneration in the first place. There's always a subconscious program connected with ill health somewhere. But I'm not going into all that now. This will be a whole separate video, because you have to know if part of you, a subpersonality, an aspect of you, thinks it's beneficial in some way for you to have this eye issue, whether you get more attention, whether you will get financed some way for it, whether you just don't want to see anymore, whether you want an excuse for not doing the things that other people want you to do, or maybe you want to do but you've been procrastinating. Your subconscious program is your subconscious program, and there's no right or wrong. There's no good or bad. It's nothing to do with that. It's just understanding that the subconscious accepts. It doesn't think, it just accepts. So somewhere in your lifetime, throughout your childhood up to present day, you may have accepted a program implanted by somebody else, by an experience, or by your own beliefs, that is inhibiting you in some way from having clear sight, clear vision, healthy eyes. There are ways to find it and to neutralize it and release it, and that has to be done. So I will show you how I do that on myself. Remember, this is all about my journey, because I'm not able to tell you that I can help you in any way. So you're helping yourself. This is all about you and your journey, Then I communicate, after I've cleared that program, every day, multiple times a day, just for a minute or two. I would tap in a program, such as if I were tapping on my collarbone. No, let's tap on the side of the hand, which is where you actually reverse a subconscious program. And I would say to myself, even though I have this diagnosis of macular degeneration and PEDS, I love and accept myself anyway. Now, some people can't say I love and accept myself. So you say, I would love to accept myself. I would love to love and accept myself anyway. Or I would just accept myself anyway. So you're acknowledging that even though I have this issue, diagnosis, I love or I accept myself anyway. Now, when you say that, it literally bypasses for about a minute or so, actually longer than that, the subconscious program, and that's when you tap in a positive. So you would do that, or I do that for myself, which I don't do anymore because I don't need to do that one. But I will say tap on my collarbone just multiple times a day, sitting at the traffic lights, wherever I am now regenerating, repairing, restoring my macular cells. I am now repairing, restoring, regenerating, whatever words you want to use, my epithelial cells. My epithelial cells are now reattaching. So I'm tapping in all this information to my subconscious, which is accepted by my cells' consciousness, because every cell has a consciousness. Bruce Lipton has marvelous videos on all that. And it's going up to my higher self, my superconscious, and universal energy, however you want to think of that. You just use your own words. So we're tying in body, mind, and spirit, of course, but we're also working with any subconscious blocks. So I'm going to be making all that much clearer, but today I think this is long enough and plenty of information for you to perhaps begin to get more hope. It's not a death sentence. And for me, it probably would have been, because in my 80s, I don't choose to lose my sight and be on earth. That's just my choice. So for me, it was that serious. I mean, it was a big, and is a big deal. But I'm continuing to stabilize and actually improve. So have hope, recognize, think about, play this again, understand that your subconscious probably has a program that needs to be neutralized, that may think it's benefiting you in some way based on some aspect of your personality, sub-personality, and all that needs to be neutralized, changed, and then you would tap in the meridians, talk to the cells, talk to your higher self, and begin to regenerate and restore. So thank you. Thank you for joining me on my journey. My greatest wish is that we all have clear sight, clear vision. And my journey is for you. I mean, it's for me, of course, but it's for you. Don't give up hope. Work with your own innate wisdom. Work with the healer within you. This is your journey, your soul's journey. What you do with it is up to you. There will be more videos following, and I look forward to you joining me. Thank you.